Wreckland Run by Scott Almes and Renegade Games. Let's get into it. Wreckland Run from his solo series by Scott Almes and Renegade Games. Scott Almes is famous for the Tiny Epic series. Tiny Epic Galaxies, Tiny Epic Zombies, Tiny Epic Dungeons, Tiny Epic, Tiny Epic, Tiny Epic, and I'll do reviews on all of those because I love those games. He's one of my favorite designers. This is a part of his solo series, the Renegade Games. The first one is called Proving Grounds, which is set in a medieval landscape. The second one is Warp's Edge, which I have set in space. And now it is Wreckland Run, set in the post-apocalypse. Again, a solo game for ages 10 and up, take between 30 and 45 minutes to play. You will finish a chapter in this beautiful journal, and every time you finish a chapter, you get to go on to the next chapter. There are 7 chapters in the game, so each chapter takes about 30 to 45 minutes to play, and I'm only on chapter 2 and can't seem to beat that. It's a tough game. It's a great game. To win is simple. You survive the run. Little theme music, please. You hear engines in the distance as you strap the last of the supplies onto your vehicle. The supplies are yours now, stolen from the bad tribe in hopes to get them to the helpless strongholds on the other side of the mountain. Judging by the sound of the engines, you have a few moments to weld another precarious weapon to the hood of your lovable ride. She's not pretty, but she's yours, and every shot is going to count as you make Wreckland Run. Ooh. During the game, you'll drive your beefed-up, post-apocalyptic war machine through the wasteland and battle opponent after opponent, defeating them one by one until you have to face the chapter boss. Turn by turn, you'll roll dice and allocate them to your vehicle, using them to fire weapons and do damage, installing new weapons, and repairing battle damage. Be careful not to let the enemy damage go through to your core, which is unrepairable. Too much core damage and your vehicle blows up. End of chapter. Every chapter has a new story to read, and new accompanying envelope, which we all love, which contains new vehicle upgrades, rules variations that follow the chapter, and that chapter's boss card. Survive the run, beat the boss, don't blow up, win the game. That's it. All right, my review. Let's talk about my first thoughts. The presentation. The artwork is good. The box is solid. That's something that we forget about we don't forget about as gamers if you don't know about. If you get a cheap box, you feel like you're getting ripped off because they're not spending any money on the production value. And this is a good sturdy box. It's going to last a long time. Feels good in the hands. The dice. The dice are unimpressive. They're little. They're not very exciting, they don't feel good to roll, but they're perfect to set on the cards, so I get it. You could upgrade the dice for better dice, but to be perfectly honest, I don't know if you need to do that. You might mess up the gameplay if you get dice that don't seem to fit on the cards, so the size of the dice is what's most important. The damage cubes are these little gems, these little gem-like articles. I don't know what they are. They represent damage. They don't look like stuff that's blown up or they died. It doesn't really matter. They do the job just fine. They're kind of unimpressive, but they're cute and they're fun to hold in your hands. That's a good thing to have in the game. I don't mind that. I don't mind that as a component. The journal. The journal is wire bound. Big plus. Big plus. So when you're playing, because you need this to play, it is flat on the table. I'm such a big fan of that. Things that have the binding, where it's flat on the table, is great for gamers. That is worth every single penny on that. The rule book. Won't lie, I went to Board Game Geek a lot on the rules. They're fiddly, some things seem to overlap, and I had a lot of questions. My lady and I played this together. We had a lot of questions, and I had to go to the rule book a lot. It says that this game is for 10 and up. Is that what I said? 10 and up? Yeah, I'd be hard-pressed to see a 4th grader pull this game off by themselves. This is more for parents to teach their kids how to play a game, or the older brother and sister to help you play the games. Yeah, more like that. But 10 plus, most likely not. It's a solo game. And people say, oh, I don't want to play a solo game by myself. Well, then don't. Play it with your spouse. Play it with your friend. play with somebody. My lady and I play it huddled around the table. It's a good puzzle-solving game. You roll the dice, you got to figure out where they go. Well, we can activate this card here, but wait a second, we should save that card. That's a good card, and if they attack this card, we should repair this card. I wish we'd rolled better. Well, this card says we can roll better. We'll ditch this card to roll more dice, and we'll allocate that. It's very satisfying to solve those puzzles as a team with another person rather than yourself. It's a great solo game, but it's great to play with another person. Yeah, money well spent. Money well spent on Wreckland Run. It's from the solo series from Renegade Games by Scott Almes. I really do recommend it. I can't recommend that enough. Not to mention, if you're going to go with Scott Almes from his other titles from Wreckland Games, try Tiny Epic Galaxies and Tiny Epic Zombies. I love those games. Those are fantastic titles. But that's it for Wreckland Run. Thumbs up. Big thumbs up. Thanks for tuning in for this week's edition of the Tom Batelson Show and my review of Wreckland Run. It is good stuff. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Post-apocalyptic games are not my favorite games. It is the reason Star Trek is my preferred form of nerddom. I like the utopian idea. I like the idea that somewhere in the future we've solved it. I don't like the idea that we're going to have this post-apocalyptic where we've screwed up over and over and over again. I know this is a bit of a deep dive for the end of a game, but yeah. I usually won't play games about the post-apocalypse. I find it depressing to think that we've messed up. I like thinking about when we don't. I like thinking about that there's a future. I like thinking about that there's hope. That'll do it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe if you like the content. My stuff drops on Sundays. Once again, till I see you next time. Peace, love, live long and prosper. And I mean it.